powerful. I feel like we're having an earthquake right now. Something that I feel many of us don't acknowledge or appreciate the depth and importance of is the masculine and the feminine, of really what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. We walk around thinking that, if you're a man, you are just a man. And if you're a woman, you are just a woman. And when you feel that you are just a man, you go around looking for a woman to complete you. And if you think you are just a woman, you need a man to complete you. But when you live from that state, as though if you're a man, for example, you are just a man, all you embody are the qualities and aspects of a man, and what you need to complete you are the qualities and aspects of a woman. And vice versa goes for the woman, where if you're a woman, all you are, all that characterizes you is what it means to be a woman, and what you need to feel complete, what you need to be complete, is to find a man. But when we live in that way, we're seeking from a place of deficit and incompletion. Because what we don't realize, what we don't consider, because it's not really supported and appreciated in this culture that we live in, is that if you're a man, you are not just a man. You are not merely a man. And same goes for the woman. If you are a woman, you are not just a woman. The man and the woman are outer expressions in the physical of these two ultimate counterparts, the epitome of duality, the epitome of polarity. Your masculine man body and your feminine female body are only one aspect of a fractal of these different counterparts. So in the physical realm, you are just a man or just a woman. But when we take it a step into our actual inner workings, our inner energy and psychology and spirit and mind, things get a little bit different. Things start to take on a different tone. And what I mean by this is within you as a man or a woman is an equal, or at least should be an equal balance of masculine and feminine energy. Let's think for a moment of the symbol yin-yang. Which is an epitome and representation of balance, of unity, of completion. Yin-yang is the symbol that you all know. It's the black and white semispheres that look like these two little like fish chasing each other, and they complete this one unit, this one whole unit. And note the part of the word unit as uni, one. The yin-yang is one, and it's a black and white sphere. And it's a black and white semisphere, and each of those little teardrops is representative of the masculine and the feminine. The feminine is the black and the masculine is the white. And within each of those teardrops is a dot consisting of the color of the other one. So what this is pointing to is not only that the ultimate masculine and feminine are in union with each other, they're in this sort of dance with each other, but within each of them is a seed of the other one. And this is the very same for human beings as well, where within the man is not only an equal proportion of feminine energy, but also within the man, it's like this fractal. Where on the scale of the physical, of the external, you have a man and a woman. But then when you go into the scale of that man, when you scale it into the man, within that man is man and woman, masculine and feminine. And when you haven't integrated these two different energies within you, you're working from a place of deficit. You're working from a place of incompletion. Like, you can think about it like if you think you're just a man, you're incomplete without that female. So you're going to go out and you're going to look for somebody who's just a female. And if you attract a female who's a balanced female, you're going to push her away indefinitely because you aren't a balanced man. Now, what does it mean to be a balanced man and a balanced woman? What it means is you've integrated the two different energies within you. You know what I'm saying? The masculine and the feminine energies. And to define like what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman, that's where things get a little bit nebulous, a little bit confusing because there's so many overlapping areas. But we have this general overarching understanding, this feeling of what it of what defines a man and what defines a woman. You know, when you think of a man, or at least let's say when I think of a man, when I think of what defines masculine energy, I think of reason, I think of direction, I think of decisiveness, I think of ground, I think of strength, I think of healthy assertiveness. When I think of the feminine, what it means, you know, feminine energy, I think of feeling, I think of depth, I think of fluidity, I think of intuition, I think of spirituality, I think of energy, I think of emotion. It's this world of this fluid world of feeling and heart. I guess in one way you could think of it as like masculine is the mind, feminine is the heart, you know? But you ever heard the term mind-heart coherence? That's exactly what I'm talking about, is that within you, forget about the outside for a moment, within you is an equal swirling potential of masculine and feminine. And you know, we hear about this thing called toxic masculinity where, you know, the man thinks, I don't feel, I just think, I'm gonna lead with my mind, I don't feel, I have no time for feelings, I have no time for ooey gooeyness, I am strong. And when the man faces hardship and adversity and despair in his life, he pushes it away because that's what a strong man does. We have a completely skewed and distorted understanding of what it means to be a man. And when we think of the feminine, we think of a woman who is just relentlessly loving and feeling and sweet and soft and all this stuff and has no assertiveness, has no backbone. So the toxic masculine and the toxic feminine are a perfect match for each other because they complete each other, because they don't realize that they in themselves are incomplete. They don't realize that they're operating from a place of deficit. They're operating from a place of imbalance. You know what I'm saying? So masculinity, to bring back up the yin and yang symbol, yin is the black and yin is the feminine. It's often described in like Japanese or Chinese culture that yang, which is the masculine, is like the bright side of the mountain. Yin is the dark side of the mountain, the shaded side of the mountain. But notice how you can't have the bright side of the mountain without the dark side of the mountain. They go together. They define each other. The one is there because of the other, you know? And for another example of yin and yang working together in the world is, you know, yin is like the still. Yin is like, when you think of like the universe, yin is the black space. It's like the womb of creation. Yin holds it all. Yang, the masculine, is all of the form, it's all the light, it's all the dance of creation happening on the backdrop of the feminine. Yin is the womb which holds all of creation, you know? Yin is like the flower that sits and just looks pretty. And the bee is like the masculine which flies around and makes the first move and goes up to the flower. You see? Yang is the active, yang is the expressive, yang is the assertive, yang is the creative, yang is the thing that makes stuff happen, the thing that creates. Yin is like the space holder, the womb, the thing that it all happens within. You know, another way that I've thought about it before is that, like, the masculine is like the sailboat sailing across the ocean of the feminine. The sailboat has a direction. It knows where it's going. It's trying to get there. It's working with everything it can to get to its direction. But it's working in tandem with the depth of the ocean, you know? And you look down into that ocean, bro, and it's dark. It's deep. It's deep. It's an oceanic presence. It's infinite. It's scary. It's powerful. I feel like we're having an earthquake right now. I don't know if you just heard that, but I just think we had like a little mini earthquake. That's far out. And what's even more far out is that I'm over here talking about the depth of the ocean and the womb of creation as the feminine. The feminine was just fucking, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, I'm going to carry on. I think we just had a little mini earthquake. That's weird. What we don't realize is that we, whether we're a man or a woman or somewhere in between, it doesn't matter. Within us is an intuitive balance and swirling of the divine counterparts of masculine and feminine, you know? And if you are working from a place of thinking you are just a man who needs just a woman to complete you, you don't have within you the capacity to hold and understand and embrace the feminine. And the feminine, who's working from a place of thinking she's just a woman and doesn't have the capacity to, doesn't have within her completion and thinks she needs a man, she doesn't have the capacity within her to embrace the man, to understand and hold the man. When you think you are just one or the other, you're not realizing that there's a balance of those things within you. This is a really far out topic, and it's even hard for me to articulate because it's something that I'm actively working with. It's something that I've intuitively felt for a long time, but I'm still learning to understand this, that I am in this male body, but I understand intuitively that I'm not just a man. You know what I'm saying? If I think I'm just a man, I'm looking out here for just a woman so that I can complete me. You know what I'm saying? But aside from the external relationship, within me alone is a balance of masculine and feminine, of mind-heart coherence. And when I'm out of balance, I'm acting from a place of imbalance. I'm acting from a place of deficit, of lack of balance, of incompletion. You know? This world is a dance of union. It's a dance of companionship. It's a dance of relationship. But if the depth of your external relationships is directly proportionate to your inner relationship with yourself, if you don't have a deep relationship with yourself, you're not going to have a deep relationship with the outside. If you're working from a place of imbalance on the inside, you're undoubtedly seeking from a place of imbalance and will attract imbalanced partners. You're going to attract more imbalance into your life. So the idea is to create balance within you. It's to honor all the different characteristics and aspects of yourself. You know, a toxic man will feel something or feel compassion or feel sadness or grief, and he will push it away because he thinks it's unmasculine. He thinks it's unmanly to go into that dimension of feeling, to drop into that dimension of feeling. You know, a toxic woman, the toxic feminine, will, when she doesn't agree with something, she won't assert herself because she thinks that's overly masculine. She won't stand up for herself because she thinks that's going against the grain of what it means to be a receptive, loving, soft, sweet female. You know? And then if you get a man who's overly feminine, and he gets with a woman, that woman doesn't have the strength and the support and the safety of the man. Because this man is too much involved and enthralled in his feminine side, in his feminine energy of feeling and depth and contemplation. So the woman doesn't get the potential of the safety that the man can provide. And then you take a woman who's overly masculine, the man isn't getting the potential of the ocean of love and depth and compassion and intuition and energy that the female would have to offer were she in balance. You see what I'm saying? It's incredible stuff. It's incredible stuff. And, you know, to bring up in the teachings of Hinduism, the spiritual journey is literally a journey of, it's called yoga. It's called yoga. And what the word yoga means is union. And union implies something. Union implies something unifying with something else. And in Hinduism, what that is Shakti, or also as it's known, Kundalini. I'm about to get a little woo-woo on you guys. Kundalini, the feminine energy, merging with Shiva, the masculine energy. And the way that this is depicted is Kundalini is resting dormant at the base of the spine and is a serpent, a sleeping snake. And spiritual awakening is when Mother Kundalini, the feminine energy, the feminine force of Shakti, awakens and begins to ascend up the spine to merge with Shiva at the top of the head. And Shiva is like the Godhead, the all, the consciousness. And the spiritual journey, according to Hinduism, is a journey of the feminine merging with the masculine. You know what I'm saying? And notice how this can be seen as like this romantic journey of finding your beloved, of Kundalini searching for Shiva. You see what I'm saying? But this spiritual journey is happening within you. You behold Kundalini and Shiva. You have within you Shakti and Shiva. The journey is within you. The spiritual journey is one from heart to mind. It's happening all within you. And this stuff acts like a fractal that fractalizes outwards, where if you are imbalanced within, there will be an imbalance without. If you are imbalanced on the inside, there will be an imbalance on the outside. When you're, like I said, your outer relationships, the depth of your outer relationships are directly proportionate to the depth of your inner relationship with yourself. You know? So the place to start is right here, is with you, in coming into a place of healthy balance of what it means to be a man and what it means to be a female. Now, to talk about like how to come into balance, I'm not going to sit here in one YouTube video and be able to tell you that. But what it means to come into balance within yourself is to consider all the different aspects of yourself. If you consider, you know, there's this like intuitive feeling where if you're a man, you can feel if you're being like toxic masculine. You can feel if you're not touching into your feminine enough. If you're a woman, there's this intuitive feeling. Like I have people in my life that feel they're women and they feel like they're overly masculine. So it's like, it depends on where you're at. It depends on the energy you're acting from. If you're a man and you feel like it's not manly to touch into your feelings, I can tell you right now, there's a imbalance of toxic masculinity within you. It's not unmanly to feel your feelings. And that's something huge in this culture that I think we're all kind of starting to realize, is that this world is in a deficit of feeling. This world is in a deficit of intuition. It's crazy that I'm pretty sure we just had an earthquake. You know, I'm getting messages. That's far out. It's cool I got that on video, dude. That's far out. This world is in need of feeling. This world is in need of depth, you know? And I feel like we're starting to come to recognize that, you know, like, this culture is like overly masculine, overly creative, overly rational. It operates from a place of reason and thinking. And what we need to do is step into the yin, step into the feminine, step into the feeling dimension, step into the place of contemplation, of stillness, step into the space of it all. Find a place of inner depth. Not think our way out of it like we have. Thinking is what's gotten us into this huge mess that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So if it's like a diagnosis, it depends on where you're at. If you're a man and you feel like you're overly feminine, maybe you need to start saying no. Maybe you need to stand up for yourself. Maybe you need to say no to people and face the dangers of them leaving you because you're standing up for yourself. And I can tell you right now, if people leave because you stand up for yourself, they weren't meant to be there. They themselves were out of balance. Somebody leaves when you stand up for yourself, that only shows how much they actually agreed with you. So if you're a man and you feel like you're just this kind of pushover nice guy, yes man, that just is overly agreeable and overly compassionate and way too down in that feeling dimension, maybe you need to step into a place of assertiveness. Maybe you need to step into a place of direction. Maybe you need to step into a place of reason. And if you're a woman who feels that she's overly masculine, maybe you need to tune back into your feeling, tune back into your heart. Lead with your heart for a change. Don't reason your way out. Don't try to think your way out of it. Don't try to rationalize your way into your next actions. Feel your heart. Tune into your heart. This stuff is so far out, and like where this originates from me is realizing that like I'm not just a guy. Because if I'm operating from a place of thinking that I'm just a guy, I need just a girl to complete me. You know what I'm saying? And I also want to mention that sexuality doesn't matter here. Whether it's man and man or woman and woman or whatever it is, it doesn't matter because the inner dichotomy of masculine and feminine is still present. And that's undoubtedly what we're seeking for in the external in a partner. We're seeking for something that we think we're missing. You know, that's where a lot of our seeking comes from, is if I'm just a man, I need a woman. You know what I'm saying? When we're not balanced within, we're seeking something, we're going to overcompensate in our search on the external, trying to find something that we're missing inside. So now it becomes this codependent relationship where I am only complete with the presence of this person and they're only complete with the presence of you, and it's a toxic dynamic. But were you to come into a place of balance within yourself where you're single, oh, I'm single. Oh no, I'm single, I don't have a partner. Bro, when you're single, that is the best opportunity to come into a place of balance. That is the best opportunity to come into a place of inner unity, of inner tranquility, of balance within yourself, of the masculine and the feminine. And if you're single and you go out desperately searching for a woman to complete you, you're going to either attract somebody who's not complete as well, who's out of balance as well, or you're going to attract somebody who is balanced, but you're going to end up pushing them away because what that balanced female needs is a balanced man. I'm telling you guys, it's a fractal. You're a single unit. You are complete in yourself. When you're single, that also means one. It means uni. You are one unit. You are complete in yourself. And when you're single, when you're not in an external fractal of the companionship, that gives you the opportunity to touch into the inner relationship, the inner companionship of your heart and your mind. You know what I'm saying? So the important thing to do is to find balance within yourself. And like I've been saying, that's going to be different for everybody. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, and if you're a man, if you think you're overly masculine or overly feminine, and vice versa, if you're a woman and you think you're overly feminine or overly masculine, it depends, bro. It depends on where you're at. But the idea is to consider all of yourself. You know, if you're overly emotional, you need to step into a place of reason, groundedness. You know, if you're overly rational, if you think too much, you need to quiet down. You need to turn back in to the heart, to the feeling. It's remarkable the amount of misunderstanding that is present in our culture of what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. You know, women in this time that we live in are stepping into an overcompensation of the masculine for all of the generations that they've been oppressed by the toxic masculine. So what we're seeing in women is hyper independence of I don't need you, don't tell me what to do, I am strong, I'm a strong woman, I can do this on my own. It's a shunning of the masculine. But see, what we don't realize is that what the feminine is shunning is the toxic masculinity that has been rampant for millennia. Somebody who says they're a feminist who hates men, she doesn't hate men. She hates the toxic masculinity that is so apparent in the culture that we live in. You know? A man who says all girls are the same, they're talking about probably an imbalance within themselves. That is the cause of all these girls seeming to be the same, where there's an imbalance within, so they keep attracting all these people who are reiterating that imbalance to them. You know? Masculine and feminine are both necessary. They're both needed. They're both needed. And it's not that you are just a man and then over there is just a woman, but rather within you is those two necessary counterparts. And by coming into a place of balance within yourself, of mind-heart coherence, of considering yourself and flowing with that balance, you will attract people into your life who are also in a state of balance, in a state of equilibrium. Because when you're balanced within, when you've balanced the masculine and the feminine within, that's what you're going to be attracted to. You're going to be attracted to somebody who is a representation of that balance that you've found within. You know, if you have that balance within, you're not going to be attracted to somebody who's off kilter, who's imbalanced, you know? And also, when you have that balance within, you don't need somebody on the outside to make you feel balanced, because you are balanced as it is. All it is like when you're in that balance, when you find somebody on the outside who is an outer representation of that balance, it's just further celebration. It's further unification. It's further companionship. Like I said, this world is a dance of union and companionship and relationship. I made a video a long time ago called The Ultimate Love Story, and it's literally what I'm talking about now. That these two ultimate counterparts of man and woman are within on every single scale. They're available on every single scale. Where within you as a man or a woman is the man and the woman. Within the yin and the yang is as well more yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? You got a man and a woman right here. They come together. They create a balance, or ideally create a balance of masculine and feminine. But then you take that man and woman and you separate them. That man over here creates ideally a balance of the masculine and the feminine within him. And the woman over here creates a balance of the masculine and the feminine within her. It's about balance. It's about finding equilibrium. You know? And I can't stress it enough that when you are operating from a place of over masculinity or over femininity, you're not going to find balance in the external world, because you need to find that balance first within. When you think, I'm just a man and I'm not going to touch into my feelings and I need a woman to complete me, you're going to find somebody who's just a woman to complete you. And now you need each other because you're not complete without each other. But when you come into that place of balance within, you're going to see that you yourself are complete. You're not half of a being. You are a whole, complete being as you are. But what's required in order to touch into that is inner balance, is contemplation, is balancing the mind and the heart, you know? Allowing your feelings, but also being assertive, standing up for yourself, being confident, being strong. You know what I mean? It's far out stuff. It's far out stuff. Until you find internal balance within, you're not going to find balance on the external. Until you find balance on the internal, you're not going to find it on the outside. You know, when you're working from a place of deficit, looking on the outside for balance, that's what you're going to find is deficit. You're going to find imbalance. But when you realize that what's required is to touch into your own heart and to tune into yourself and focus on yourself and find that state of equilibrium of the masculine and the feminine within you, that's when the external will begin to reflect that, where you're not going to be attracted to imbalance. And if imbalance represents and manifests itself, you'll know to say no to it. You're not going to allow that into your life. You know what I'm saying? This is really far out stuff. And balance is what we need. Balance on every single scale. Not only balance in the sense of you and your partner, but balance within you alone. You are complete as you are. You know what I'm saying? The man is complete in himself within the masculine and the feminine within him. The woman is complete within herself with the masculine and feminine within her. And when we come into that place of inner equilibrium, that's when our external relationships will begin to reflect that balance. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was a heavy loaded topic, so I hope it made sense. But if it made sense and if you enjoyed it, consider leaving a thumbs up so that this video can get recommended to more people like you.